every group I watch, geopolitically or financially, events are going to outrun us all and they're going to surprise us all. And so we're going into an out of control situation. Now, the people who run, in my experience, the people who run the financial system always have a plan B, C, D, and have thought things ahead. How they're going to manage this, I don't know.
So how does the average person respond to it?
With faith.
With faith?
Yeah. 99% of the universe is made up of plasma. And if you go back...
I'll confess I have no idea what plasma is.
Don't ask me to explain it.
Well, it's about 90% of the universe. 99% of the universe.
And if you go back and listen to people like David Bohm, the great physicist, they would sort of intimate this. But Dr. Robert Temple has now written a book that really goes through all the science of it. And what Temple says is that plasma is alive and intelligent, which brings all new meaning to the notion of he lives. What he's saying is the universe is alive and intelligent. Now, throughout my history, and
I feel that, don't you?
It is true. I'm sure it's true. Yeah. The universe is alive. The universe is intelligent. Whether it's the plants, the animals, the people,
yes.
We share intelligence, and it's not through our brain. It's through our whole body, through our energy, everything. Oh, anyway, but the new science of heaven is really about plasma and how it's alive and intelligent. Now, what I'm going to tell you, I don't care how much programmable money you have, how many biometrics you have, how many digital IDs you have, how many drones. DOD is going to buy 1 million drones a year. How many drones you have flying overhead? I don't care. There's no way you can control the entire universe. Do you know what I mean? And if you understand what Temple and Bohm and these guys are saying about how the universe works, it's out of control. Now, what you can do is you can interact with it with love and intention and integrity, but it's out of control. And I absolutely believe that. And that's why I think this whole digital control model is going to fail. I just want to make sure.
You're just describing the Tower of Babel. You're describing the limits of human power and foresight.
And technology. It just, if you understand life, the whole thing is nuts. Now, if you look at the leadership, I can absolutely, because they're hyper-materialists, I can absolutely believe that they would think they can control it. And I can understand as risk managers why you might want to. So there's a material world, but then there's a whole world that's invisible, either because it's spiritual or it may be material, but it's like the Wi-Fi in the room. We can't see it. So there's a whole part of our reality, whether it's what I call the morphogenic field, so shared intelligence, or your energetic body or my energetic body, or or the Wi-Fi in the room, whether it's material or spiritual, there's a whole world that's invisible. And what you see in the American culture in my lifetime is people become more and more focused on what they can see that's material. The only invisible thing they relate to is money. Money is an invisible, finance is an invisible.
So money is their God.
Only a hyper-materialist could allow money to become their God, because if you understand...
But if it's the only invisible thing you believe in, it's your God.
They don't know. They literally don't know how intelligence works and how power works in the universe. They are completely ignorant of the real power lines because they can't see the invisible. It's phenomenal.
What are the power lines that you just described?
So our freedom comes to us by divine authority. And if you look at what, there's one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is the prayers of a righteous man availeth much. And one of the things I've learned in my life is that, so I was an investment advisor and all my clients would show up and say, we want you to help us use our money to keep them safe. And what I would tell you is in this kind of environment with this kind of change, you can only be safe if you have spiritual protection, if you have spiritual intelligence, if you have spiritual authority, and if you can relate with other people in a way that you can build relationships of trust. And that kind of integrity and trust is invisible. But if you look at what can endure during periods like this, that's what endures. That's what you can't, Corinthians says faith, hope, and charity. Those are the things that endure that you can't lose. And they're real. It just takes many years of living and living around people who do it to see that it's real. So you know what I mean by this.
I know exactly what you mean, and I agree so vehemently. I wish I was as articulate as you were.
But I literally had experiences where I was going to be dead in 5 seconds, and a miracle happened, and it saved me. And it was, so I used to always say I had one amazing deposition where I had a major spiritual protection and experience. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. It's happened on several occasions. And I said to, I call the people who, so I'm assuming it's angels or guardians or whatever you want to call it. And I said, I call them the guys with the blue light. And I said, don't worry about protecting yourself against the bad guys. Worry about getting in good with the guys with the blue light. So
yes,
if you there's not enough time to do all that risk management against the bad guys. If you just focus your energy on getting in good with the good guys, you will get protected.